Hello everybody and welcome to another deck profile. This time I'm bringing you guys some Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, a deck that I've really wanted to emphasize the idea of building this deck on the cheap, because I feel like it's a deck that for a starter deck you get a lot of value out of, and from all the current starter decks I feel like with this one you get the most amount of value. And because it's a red deck, I'm personally a red player. I like playing mono red decks, that's just my thing. But a lot of the cards that are here I still use to this day. Unbreakable Super Saiyan Goku is a fantastic clone, sort of like super combo, but not such a, it's sort of like a super combo in a lot of ways. So this card is like a staple in a lot of decks. Chain Attack Trunks, another very good staple card. Quick Rush Trunks still see some moderate play here and there in some red decks that want to have like cards that you can just use as energy, or even the card by itself is it's a pretty good pressure card in my opinion. It's very well statted for the low cost of only 2 energy. And then you also have your Rushing Warrior Pan. Unending Awakening is a really good counterattack, sort of like Sensu Bean in a few ways, but probably not as good, but still has a lot of utility. And then you have, your deck is very consistent through things like Grantor Spaceship, being able to search out your 3 key engines, and Pint-Sized Warrior Goku just being able to search out pretty much about 50% of your deck. So that's sort of like where I decided to build the deck on, and then I added a few new cards to make sure the deck is up to the current meta, and also allow the deck to fight. My main goal with the deck is to use my Broken Limit Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which is the card that you get on the starter deck, and make this card the focus of the deck, because my idea is to have at least maybe 2-3 cards on the field, along with maybe 2 cards on the field along with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then get him to 40,000 attack, and then he gains triple strike. And I really like the broken limits Goku, because the way that you can bring him out is way better than the Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, where like it requires you a level 5 or higher Goku, and this one is just a level 4 or, well, energy cost 4 or higher. So you have way more options when you want to EX evolve onto the Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So that's enough. That's basically my overview of the deck. Now I'm going to go through the deck card by card, explain the reason why I play each card, what the role of the card is, and basically your general game plan. So like I said, this deck is very easy to build. A lot of the cards are pretty cheap. I don't know how much the Triple Flash Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku goes for, but I don't think it's that much. Maybe like $2-3 if you can find on like eBay. That's the price that I was looking at, and I'm pretty happy with that price, because this card is actually really cool. And yeah, let's just go straight into the list. So also at the end of the video, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, as it shows me that you like what I'm doing, and I'll just know to post more Dragon Ball stuff. So let's just go straight into the list. So starting off with our leader, Son Goku and Heighten Evolution Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So the reason why I chose this leader is because energy is really important in a red deck, because a lot of the times you might feel like you might be tapped out, and that is not a good situation to be in. You basically want to be as efficient with your energy as possible, and by playing this particular Son Goku, it just opens up your horizons so much, because you can freely use like your energy to do all of your aggressive plays, and then you have a little bit of energy to fight back. And energy is really important in this particular deck, because we are playing the Unending Awakening, and we are also playing Pride and Justice Topo as our defensive cards. So it's very important that we have access to them, as well as our Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku, which is our super combo that costs 1 energy. So I want to make sure I have at least a little bit of energy to just stop my opponent, or like soften the blows and try to not take unfavorable trades. And then this guy's just really good because it helps you ramp, and ramping is very good, especially now that there's a lot of aggro decks. You want to keep up with the aggro decks by making sure you have as much energy to play as possible. So turn 1, being able to play with 2 energy is just fantastic, honestly. And then I'm going to start off with the Zeno, the Plain God. So I really like 2 copies of this card in your main, because 1, you can bring it out with Chain Attack Trunks, which is usually the play you try to set up, and this is just a hard reset. So if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by your opponent, if your opponent is playing Veggies, Apes, just any like aggro deck like the Horudigan deck, right? Those 3 like cores seem to be the most aggressive styles of play right now, and Zeno just says, no, okay, we're just gonna do a hard reset, and it really doesn't matter to you because you're able to spam out so many cards on the field and then just make big pressure plays. So I really like the Zeno. He's just pretty cool. I feel like it's a very defensive tool that's really cheap. Like, this card is really cheap, and it offers so much utility, and you always see it being played in a variety of ratios in a variety of decks. Pint Size Warrior Son Goku. This card is really simple. This is your basic searcher. Play this, look at the top 7, and add any Goku GT. So pretty much all of the Gokus that I play, I believe, are Goku GTs, and that is just amazing. Then we have our Intensifier Power Trunks, really good early Trunks to help us self-awaken a little bit faster if we need to, but also it's a Trunks name that we can use to bring out our chain attack Trunks. And then we have the Rushing Warrior Pan. When we play this, our leader gains 5,000, and when you combo with this, you draw a card. This is really important because it's sort of like a super combo, except it gives you less attack, but the ability to combo with this, and then it gains... it just gives you the draw is good because the card basically, it makes the card really efficient to play because it replaces itself. And as you can see, because this is a Goku GT deck, my key focus of the deck is to have my Pan engine, my Trunks engine, and my Goku core, and that's basically the idea behind GT. In my opinion, that's what I think it's really fun about GT, is having these 3 characters and how well they synergize with each other. And then we obviously have the Grantor Spaceship, which is amazing. We look at the top 7 and we add a Goku, Pan, Trunks, or Giru. We have our Handy Giru as our super combo, so pretty much, I want to say like 80% of the deck is searchable through Grantor Spaceship. My math might not be correct here, but I just want to emphasize how good Grantor Spaceship is. Also, if you feel like the Grantor is even better in this particular deck because starting off with 2 energy means that you can play your Grantors from the beginning of the game. So it makes this card less of a pain to... I mean, sometimes people think, oh, I'm only playing like 2 or 3 Grantor because sometimes it's dead. The idea behind the card being dead is that you don't have the energy to play it on the turn that you open it up. But that works for like a majority of cards the majority of the cards in a lot of decks, where most of your deck is not going to be just 1 cost cards. You're going to have 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost, 5 cost. And, you know, just because the card, you might not be able to play the card on your first turn, it's still a very good card. Just being able to add anything that you need makes your deck more consistent, so why not play it and max out on this card? Worst case scenario, if you draw multiples of this card, you can always use one as energy. So yeah. Then we have our Quick Rush Trunks. I like this card because it's really good to pressure our opponent early on. 15,000 is more than 10,000, which is usually the common attack, well, the common power for a lot of 2-drops, and this card has critical, so it will always make your opponent combo if they do not want to get critted on. So I really like the Quick Rush Trunks. Worst case scenario, you can just use this card as energy. Then we have our Handy Giru, just our super combo of the deck, fairly standard, doesn't do a lot, but it does enough that we want to play this card. I mean, it's just a super combo, you know? Then we have our Combination Attack Pan. This is the pan that I decided to use in this deck because if we have Goku GT or Trunks DG with 2,500 or more power in play in the battle area, we can play this card from the hand without paying its energy cost, and then once per turn we can choose up to 1 Goku or Trunks in the battle area and it gains plus 5,000. So this card is really efficient because we can just bring it out for free as long as we have something with more than 2,500 power, which is really not that hard. You have your Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, and that is usually the card that you want to combo this off with. And then again, it also has the effect to buff something by 5,000 power, so it synergizes very well with our broken limit Super Saiyan 3 Goku because we can cheat out its power by increasing it by the 5,000, attack with Pan, and then this gains basically 10,000 because it gains the 5,000 from Pan and the additional 5,000 from attacking with Pan. So I really like the combination attack Pan. Then we have the Determined Super Saiyan Goku. So this card has Grip, and if your life is at 4 or less, this card's energy cost is increased by 2. Now, initially, I was like, this card sounds awful. Like, why would you want your own cards to have an increased cost? It just doesn't make any sense. But then I realized, well, because it has an increased cost, it synergizes really well with our EX Evolve mechanic, and that's why you play 4 copies of it. I mean, if you ever feel like you need to bring it out, don't feel bad to do so because the card has critical, but a lot of the times you're going to save this card to trigger your EX evolves. So I really like the card because it serves 2 purposes of the deck too. Well, 3. Like, you can use this as energy because you play this at 4, so you can comfortably play this as energy. You can use this to EX evolve, or you can use this to just pressure your opponent a little bit. And also, you can bring out with Chain Attack Trunks. This is just an amazing red card. I feel like Chain Attack Trunks is probably my favorite red card right now, just because of how splashable it is, like, of an engine. You play your Intensify Power Trunks, and you play your Chain Attack Trunks, and this engine is insanely splashable, and I love it. So you just evolve this on a Trunks GT, and you have a fair amount of Trunks GTs in your deck. You have your Quick Rush Trunks, you have your Intensify Power Trunks, and then you can even evolve Trunks on top of Trunks. So this card is really good, and then you just so this card can attack cards in the active mode, which is really good, and then you just play this and bring out any card with 15,000 or less power in the hand and play. So you can bring out your Pans, your Detenim Super Saiyan Gokus, you can bring out your gear if you ever need to, you can bring out Quick Rush Trunks, Pint-Sized Warrior Goku. I mean, the options are endless. Like, this card is just so good to help you swarm the field and make your Super Saiyan 3 Goku active. It's triple strike effect. Then we move on to our watered down super combo, so to say, and that is the Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. So you can either play this card by itself, or you can just evolve it onto any Goku GT for the low cost of 3 energy, which is pretty solid considering you're gonna get your 3 energy back at the end of the turn either way. But a lot of the times you're gonna be using this card for its super combo abilities, or to use it as discard fodder. So I don't usually bring this card out too much, but when I do so, I don't feel too bad about it because it has Barrier, and Barrier is actually quite an important attribute to have in the current meta because of how much removal a lot of decks are playing. Just look at the Apes. The Apes are amazing because they have Barrier, right? Or Planet Vegeta gives them Barrier, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, Unbreakable Super Saiyan Goku is really good, and you should play 4 copies of it. Moving on to our other red sort of utility card is the Pride and Justice Topu, and this card is really good because it's a counter attack. So you play this card and negate the attack, so it's really good because you play it. And if your opponent has a leader, if you or your opponent has a leader that has 15,000 or more power, essentially like an awakened leader, you can reduce this card's cost by 2. So this is really good because Super Saiyan 3 Goku is very good at getting its life cost down, and then as soon as you go into your Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you just get that really nice ability to retap your energy. So you should really not have a problem bringing out the Topo. I think 2 is more than plenty because usually people place like 4 to 5 counters, more or less. So I've got my counter attacks with Awakening, Unintending Awakening, and then I have 2 extra with Topo. But Topo is quite good because it helps me pressure a little bit since like I bring this card out. And then when this card KOs your opponent's battle card, you can switch it to active mode. So basically this is really good to just like beat your opponent's field, like just kill it. Like if your opponent has a bunch of like low cost cards, you know, your 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, you can just use Topo to pressure all of them, and your opponent will either have to give up combo food in its hand, or they'll just get KO'd, and that's less cards that you have to deal with, while also keeping board advantage. Then we move on to our 2 big beaters of the deck, the main focuses of the deck, and starting off is the Broken Super Saiyan Limit 3 Son Goku. Broken Limit Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Okay, I read that in the wrong order, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, this card's amazing, so we EX evolve it by putting this on top of a GT Goku and dropping a card from our hand that has 4 cost or less. So you have a lot of options to use this card. So you're playing a decent amount of 4 cost Gokus and 4 cost cards, so it should really not be hard to bring this thing out. Worst case scenario, you use 6 energy to bring this out, even though you can only have 6 energies because of your Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. I mean, you can still bring this card out the hard way if you feel like you need to do so. And then its auto ability is when one of your card attacks, this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And if this card has 40,000 power, then this card gains triple strike. So the whole idea of the deck is I built the deck around this specific card because this card is really good. So what you do is you try to relatively swarm the board and make sure you attack with a lot of your cards. And then that will increase the card of this card, and then you go with this card, and that's when you do your big combos, make sure your opponent just feels super cornered, and then they will have to give up a lot of hand size, otherwise they'll take 3 hits. So if you find a way to give this card critical through, I think, well, there's a card that you can combo with and it gives a card critical, I think. I might be wrong here, but if there is, you can use it with this, and then it's triple strike critical. Anyway, that's pretty much the whole idea behind the deck is you want to combo as much as possible, spam on monsters, you have your trunks, you have your pan to help you swarm the board a lot easier. You just attack into your opponent, and you also have your topo, you have your leader, and then you just attack with this, triple strike, super devastating, make big combos and win the game. And then you have your triple flash Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. So this is an EX evolve, and you have to ditch a card that costs 5 or more. And you play this on top of GT Goku. Then this card has Deflect, which means it's unaffected by counterplay. It has already triple strike, so you don't even have to work for the triple strike. The card just already has the triple strike. And auto, when you play this card, draw 2 cards, and you may not activate EX Evolve for the duration of the turn. So basically, when you play this, you cannot EX Evolve anymore. I think this is pretty fair. And then its permanent ability is if this card's power is 40,000 or more, your opponent may not activate counter during battles where this card is attacking. So this is really, really easy to do because all you have to do is like use like a super combo or use like pan or any sort of, yeah, you can use it. You can use pan to buff it. And then you can combo with it once. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do to bring this guy to 40,000, but when it has 40,000, your opponent cannot play counterplay, your opponent cannot play counter attack. They will just have to either combo back or they will die. And I think I really, really like this card because it has a lot of power. The card is fairly easy to bring out, and it's just very, very well statted. And also just has amazing artwork. So that's basically my Super Saiyan 3 Goku GT deck. As you can see, the deck is fairly budget. You really only need to pick up like 2 copies of the starter deck. Like worst case scenario, you pick up 2 copies of the starter deck, which I think isn't necessary because a lot of the cards that you get them at 4. So you get like maybe you get 2 Rushing Warrior Pans, but I know you get 4 Chin Attack Trunks, you get 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Gokus, you get your Super Combo, your Trunks, you get 2 of the Broken Limits Goku, and pretty much like a lot of the cards you get 4 of. The only extra cards that you have to buy would be the Intensified Power Trunks, which is pretty cheap because it's a common from Colossal Warfare. Combination Attack Pans might be maybe like $2 a copy, but even then, like, you get a lot of utility with this card. Your Topos should not be too expensive, maybe like $1 or 2, and then your Triple Flash Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So maybe for like $30, maybe less, you could probably put this deck together, and this deck is a lot of fun to play with. Oh, and don't forget the Xenos, but the Xenos, again, are not that expensive, so this is just a deck that you can pick up the starter deck and slowly improve on the deck, and that is really good because it means that you'll have a deck to play for a really long time in case you just want to play this deck and nothing else, even though there are so many different decks that you can play. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.